மகிழ்ச்சிகரமான நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு தலைமை தாங்கி வருகை தந்திருக்கும் என் அருமை சகோதரர் மாண்புமிகு இளைஞர் நலன் மற்றும் விளையாட்டு மேம்பாட்டுத்துறை அமைச்சர் திரு உதயநிதி ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களே, என் அருமை அண்ணன் மாண்புமிகு சிறு குறு மற்றும் நடுத்தர தொழில்துறை அமைச்சர் அண்ணன் தாமோ அன்பரசன் அவர்களே, the Honourable Minister for Health and Mental Health of the Government of Western Australia, Ms. Amberjade Sanderson, my good friend, the Parliamentary Secretary and Member of the Legislative Assembly of Western Australia, Dr. Jagdish Krishna, the Additional Chief Secretary of the Government of Tamil Nadu for Information Technology and Digital Services, Thiru Dheeraj Kumar, the Director of the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, Dr. V. Kamakoti, Their Excellencies, the Consuls General of Germany and of Australia, my good friend who has taken so much trouble to be here with us in person today, Raji Thomas, the CEO of Sprinkler, Thiru Shankar Vanavarayar, the Chairman of the Tamil Nadu chapter of CII, distinguished guests, delegates, students, professors, the media, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this valedictory function, which gives me immense joy and pleasure at the end of this two-day conference. I must start by thanking the many people whose efforts allowed us to achieve what we have in the last 2 days. CII, NASSCOM, the many government officers, government staff, the speakers, the delegates, the organizing committee that met so many times to help us finalize the program, the professors, the students of all the institutions that attended, the support staff, and the countless arms of the government of Tamil Nadu as well as volunteers that enabled us to pull off what I consider just short of a miracle. As I mentioned in the inaugural, we were only given the financial permission to run this conference and the funding towards the end of December, just before the New Year. In addition to the period lost for the New Year holiday, we also had 1 week that was effectively devoted to the Global Investor Meet and another week that was devoted to the Pongal holiday. In effect, we had about 5 weeks in which to pull off the entire organization of this conference. In fact, as the Chief Secretary, Additional Chief Secretary and I were discussing today, at some point we thought, should we even attempt this? It may be too tall a mountain to climb in the time that we have. And then on reflection, I felt it was our duty to hold this conference, no matter whatever the traditional definition of success might be. For us, we had the clarity of why we needed to do this, irrespective of the scale or the eventual outcome. In particular, as many have mentioned, we are at a very interesting inflection point for the technology sector. This has come about probably 3 or 4 times in my lifetime, with the advent of the personal computer, the development of the networks and the first .com revolution, the advent of connectedness and IoT and distributed systems, and now artificial intelligence. So we felt that at this point we had to do what was right for our society, for our government, for our students. And so we focused on 3 basic principles. We said the greatest inefficiency or lack of linkage in our state today is that despite being by far the greatest source of technology, manpower in the world. No other place of this scale of 75 to 80 million people produces 170, 180,000 engineering graduates a year. No other place is a richer source of talent to the tech industry, whether that's in the Bay Area or in Europe or in Australia or in Pune or in Bangalore. Despite having such great talent, we are not attracting enough capital, we are not creating enough jobs locally, and we are finding a lot of our youngsters have to go to other places to realize their potential. So the main things we need to do first is inform on both sides, inform our youth, our students of what world class looks like, what big companies have been able to achieve, what the cutting edge of technology is currently at, and how they should be thinking about their futures and thinking outside the box about breaking through the current limitations. Equally, we wanted to bring senior decision makers, whether that's in corporates, in the venture capital world, in the private equity world, in other government organizations, and show them, not tell them, but show them through their presence here, through the audience here, through the exhibitors here, the exciting things that were happening in Tamil Nadu, and to encourage them to think about expanding their operations, their investments in this wonderful state. If we felt we informed people adequately, we would automatically inspire them, especially with people like Raji, who has created so much value in so many newly plowed fields, and that eventually that would lead to our desired outcome, as Professor Kamakoti said, that we want innovation to happen here. We don't want just followers, we want creators, we want people who are breaking new paths, breaking the mold. Looking back on the last 2 days, I must say that the event turned out better than I had feared. At least my trepidations were not realized. But I must say again that if it was done well, it was because of the efforts of so many, our officers, our organizing committee, our support staff, many who kindly traveled here all the way, sometimes for a few hours, sometimes for a day, to accept our invitation to contribute to our state, our community, our students. And I'm eternally grateful to each and every one of them who helped achieve what we have achieved. We were not without our limitations. We learned something between yesterday and today. The crowd overwhelmed us a bit. Our preparations were less than ideal. But as is customary, any limitations in the outcome must fall on my shoulders as the Minister for the department. And I hope that we have learnt enough that we will improve, not just yesterday to today, but every single time we do this. This was always intended to be an annual event. As I say very often, what distinguishes our Chief Minister's government is that we mean what we say and we say what we mean, and we act according to our philosophy and we keep consistent to our word. When I was Finance Minister, when we funded this conference or event for the first time, it was intended to be an annual conference. It was therefore vital from my perspective that we ran the second edition this year after the first edition last year. I will now happily announce that we have already decided to run Umagine 2025 on the 10th and 11th of January next year, and we will make this an annual event in the calendar and place Chennai on the map of the tech conference calendar. Once again, I convey my heartfelt thanks to all the people who helped make this successful, to my leader, the Chief Minister, who graciously came, attended, and had very nice things to say about us, to my good friend, dear brother, Udayanidhi Stalin, who has taken his time out to be with us today, to all of you who are here, Nandri, Vanakkam.